to another episode of Stock Talk. I am your host, Milk, and with me I have
Og
and Krange.
Kage, how's it going?
Good. We got a decent show planned for you tonight. We got a comment in Kage and Hog from Chucky Taylor or Chuck Ward. Last night he did not like the comments from EGOC. One person came in civil and just said, you guys missed out, which that was a good take. He was civil, but this guy's like, you guys are idiots.
Chucky was
comment about, I know, it's like, dude, I can't even give an opinion, man, and he's just freaking out just because I said it was a pass for me, dude. It's hilarious. He says, it has nothing to do with energy for years. Did any of us say it had anything to do with energy yesterday, Kage?
I don't know what he's talking about, yeah.
Just read the comments, dude. We're just reading the boards, bro. So he says you can't even pronounce SPAC correctly. Sorry about that. Maybe you should come on the show, Chuck. You could do a better job, huh? It says this is a shell reverse merger. There's no company in the way to, as you refer to. The shell was bought and merger is going to take place in purchasing company. Know your facts. You look like idiots. I have an opinion about the stock, but it isn't to the point. Based on all the research and revenue that's harmful to all investors. So basically, last night's show was harmful to investors. What do you guys think about that?
Dude's weak, dude. Armchair
Well,
quarterback.
if he can't necessarily hold on to his money, that's his problem.
Yeah. Well, the funny part is that we covered the news from the Google machine. I thought that was everything that's on Google was true. Isn't that correct? Also, you also had that. Yeah, the guy's just a complete freaking. It was entertaining to hear him. Do you guys have anything to add about that before we go on to the show?
I think he just
No,
overreacted and freaked out. I'm sorry if he's got stock in this. I'm just.
Yeah.
All you read was you read the stock twits comments, and then you also read the Google machine news, and that was it.
Right.
So, and said, it's usually a safe bet to not get involved in stocks that are under $1. That's all we said. But, he had to go and carry the cooler for it. So it is what it is. So going on to one of the first stories we have, this just in, not really, it was in at 2:10 Eastern Standard Time there. The Federal Reserve raised the interest rates by 75 basis points again. Any comments, boys, before we go on to this?
The Federal Reserve, I think, is just a big old fraud and everything. Ever since it was actually created in 1913, it's just been taking and taking and taking back from the American people. I can't necessarily say anything in good faith about this private bank with private stockholders that has the exclusive right to print America's money.
Is Kage coming in hot, or is there some merit to that?
No, I think there actually is merit to something that Kage said for once. Mm-hmm. I will agree this one time.
You get a golf clap for yourself there, Kage, on the sound effects?
Golf clap? I haven't necessarily.
So, you haven't necessarily had the golf clap sound effects yet?
I have some other sound effects, but how about this one?
Well, it looks like the Federal Reserve on Wednesday raised its benchmark by 75 basis points. It's the latest battle of Biden inflation. The tax hike will bring Fed funds to a range of 225 to 250%. CNBC's Steve Leisman reported. CNBC Squawk Box reacted to the news. We're not going to play that. Well, maybe we could. Let's see. Let's play. Courtesy CNBC. Big buyback today too, guys. Where's Kramer, man? Best economy ever. I'm trying to see where he pops up at. Did you look at that?
Weird.
Looks like it's the panic buyback on here. I'm going to cut him off real quick. So he's one of the civiler ones there. As you recall, guys, the Fed raised interest rates by 75 basis points last month. The latest rate hike was expected. So some of the people out in alphabet land, guys, they were just like, they were totally down with this. They were like, oh, dude, this is so good and everything like that. But they're not seeing the big picture like little Chucky Taylor. What do you guys have to say?
Chuck Taylor.
That's what his new name is Chuck Taylor.
I don't have any comment about the interest rates. It's just not my
more the same, dude.
So.
We know where it's going. No surprise. I mean,
do you think this affects the housing market anyway?
Absolutely. This affects everything from food on the shelves to gas in the tank to the house you live in. Yes.
Yep, but people can keep on denying and carrying the cooler for stocks that you don't know. You act like you know the family members of the company and everything, but you really don't. But yeah, can't give a good take on that ever there. This is the second rate hike in over a month for the U.S. economy. Officially enters the recession, but not really the recession. The idiots here say that the growth consumers, just kidding. Hoff's not an idiot, dude, good guy. So growth consumer spending and slowed significantly apart, reflecting the lower disposable income with tighter fiscal conditions. Growth in consumer spending, this is from Newsback, slowed significantly part of the lower disposable income and tighter financial restrictions. They have to do this because why, guys? They printed all this monopoly money. So stocks maintained their gains because it was a panic buy, like we discussed. Zero Hedge has a great article on it, but it was so good, they decided to charge for it. So that I know that got Haugen a little tip there, huh, Haug?
Hell yeah.
Old Tyler, man, he saw that everybody was sharing that on Twitter and said this is for members only. Ooh, trying to get people to read his dirt, because why? Tyler's right most of the time anyway. So
Tyler Durden.
Tyler Durden's, he's the freaking man. People censor him just because he's one of those guys that's pretty much always right. The S&P 500 gains, if you guys see a pattern here going along, the S&P 500 gained 1.8% and the NASDAQ composite increased to 3%. Tech shares led gains for better than feared results from Alphabet and Microsoft. The Fed's second consecutive big hike was widely expected. The Fed statement was the same. The central bank gave a nod to the slowing economy and adding the line saying the recent indicators of spending production has softened. And yes, the charts are all going towards that. They're going towards dive bomb. But everybody keeps on thinking, monopoly time. You can listen to Powell's press conference. We're not going to go to Bloomberg there. The Gateway Pundit's Joe Hoff, that's the other Hoff brother, under President Trump, he said, quoted, that Federal Chief Jerome Powell raised rates so much that he almost created a market collapse himself. President Trump had the economy smoking, and Powell couldn't let that happen, so he raised rates quarterly for Trump's first couple years. How Powell left the rates alone, the U.S. economy would have done better. So that's Hoff's take there. Under Obama, the Fed kept the rates at 0% 7 years, helping the Obama's economy recover. Just for that, guys, under that, I would say they had to for that fact because we were in the shitter critter anyway for that. So, any takes on those two takes from Hoff and from that Obama 0%?
They're speaking about how things were from their time and not necessarily what things are like now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they're just living on the laurels of their previous victories, I guess you could say.
Bob, do you have anything to add on this? Well, let's see how this goes and how that affects all the markets coming up shortly in the next week or two. So,
so dawn till dusk ordeal.
Dawn toward dusk operation. Well, we're going to move on to the next stock. So see you in a few, and thanks for tuning in to going on to stock twits. Kage, what would you say on the twits there?
How about
going on to the Shark Tank. Sorry, going on to the Shark Tank. What's in the Shark Tank? What's swimming in the Shark Tank of the Twits?
Here's a take from Tickeron. He always brings his receipts in his
Oh, you read that yesterday, so
comments.
Tickeron must have been wrong yesterday too, right?
I think he's been proven to be relatively good as far as like ideas go and what his track record is.
He's good. I'm just clowning on Chuck Taylor, man. I'm just clowning on Chuck Taylor, bro.
You just gotta tune those guys out and just realize.
No, it's just part of the entertainment of the show. That's just part of the entertainment of the show, man. Go ahead with the thing there, bro.
Okay, here he says. Tickeron says, if you have this ticker in your portfolio, pay attention. FFIE in 17.31% downtrend, declining for 3 consecutive days on July 26, 2022. View the odds for this and other indicators. And he's got his chart in the comments with the drop-off in July heading into August. And it looks like to be a more downtrending projection than an upward trending projection in his charts.
Okay. What else you got?
How about this one? Here's a bear take. He doesn't necessarily have a graph in the charts or anything, but he says EV startup Canoe Inc. said in May that it had substantial doubt it could continue funding its operations. Electric vehicle maker Faraday Future Intelligent Electronic Inc. is delaying the start of production of its first vehicle, citing supply chain issues and the need to raise
there's
more
a lot
cash.
of supply chain issues. They can't even get range balls to the golf course at the local golf course here. They're freaking out. Talk about supply chain issues, or going to go get a computer, certain computers, that too. You guys experience any of that with the supply chains, or is that just a rumor going around?
Well, golf is kind of a dying sport, I'm afraid, at least for me anyway.
Apparently it's not that dying if they got freaking they're short on range balls, bro. So, Hog, you got anything to add on this? Hog skating around. Time out, Brandon. I'm just gonna see if we have Hog connected. I don't think we do. I think we lost him. Damn it. This is going on pause mode. It looks like no, he's gone. We lost him. Stupid thing. I hate that Teams keeps on doing this. Why do we keep on losing him?
You got me. If he's not in front of his computer or anything, if he's taking it on his mobile phone.
Yeah, that is the possibility.
You can't necessarily always guarantee that the places he's going are going to always have a continuous, even signal to actually connect with us right here. So.
Okay, so I'll cut that part out. So going on to Electrotech, woes continue to Faraday Future as it delays the FF91 production launch to seek additional capital. The EV startup Faraday Future continues the uphill battle to get its flagship EV FF91 into production. According to the latest report, the FF91 was scheduled for early as this month, will be pushed deeper into 2022 as the company seeks additional capital to start production and beyond. The news is merely the latest chapter in Faraday Future saga of struggle. So that's why we saw some of the popping there, Kage. What else do you have on the twits there?
How about this take from let's see, USMC 123. He says FFIE bullish. FFIE looks like Tesla might be a big investor here. CGRA going to explode in the update from the buyout news, and PAVV meeting in Tuesday should triple double, triple before the end.
Does he have receipts for that or no?
It doesn't look like he has receipts.
So he says Tesla's in there, but does anybody else have anything that Tesla's involved with this or no? I'm just trying to get this out for the other people there that are looking. That, I mean, he said they're involved, but like, if you see anything on the boards, let's let people know. So that's just so this way we know. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying, like, someone else comment in the comment section just to steer people right in case it's wrong there. Looks like the company describes itself as an internet and technology company. The Intelligent Electric was founded in 2014. The AI product company is a software company, user of ecosystem company for the original founder, for Jia Yuting, also founded, and apparently, Kage, you're supposed to get all these names right, too. If you mispronounce something, they'll freaking nail you, dude. In 2015, unveiling a single vehicle, the EV startup announced a $1 billion manufacturing facility in northern Vegas. That's pretty huge. By 2016, FF had nixed construction plans due to financial issues, pivoting instead towards refurbishing manufacturing plant in Hanford, California. The news followed by the announcement of the flagship production of FF91. By the end of 2017, FF CEO, CTO both left from their own company down the street. The new startup became Canoe, a company which we also covered a while ago. Even I didn't pronounce that. See, they're all intertwined together, facing its own financial struggles. What else do you have on the twits there going through the search?
How about this take from Tony Stacks? He says, FFIE bullish. Had this as a top number 5 rebound play Monday after getting brutalized last week. Not sure if the gains will hold, but green day nonetheless. Congrats on those that caught it. No position.
Hey,
I was buying the bottom of FXL's V piece.
Hey, you never know. Maybe the big guy will throw some more executive orders with spending like he did with the vote thing today that he did. Was it $1 billion or something like that for some deals or something? So you never know. So he's Mr. Green Energy, so you never know. After filing for bankruptcy, remains a chief product and user officer. So that's G stepped down there as the CEO there, Gia. Former Byton CEO Carson Brightfield has taken over as chief since then, somewhat righted EV ship, but not without few new obstacles. 2021 news leaked Friday that Faraday Future was in talks with Geely in FF91 and is built in China to cut costs. Well, we know how that goes sometimes, don't we, Kage? Yep.
Yeah,
especially if you have to depend
load
on
up their buddies.
Yeah, if there's some type of trade embargo from some type of action in Taiwan or something like that, or you got the chips cut and things like that, things could get really scary for a lot of people. That would suck. All signs seem to be full steam ahead as a startup followed up with plans of the second model, the FF81, to be built in South Korea. With help of the contract manufacturer, Meilungshin, last heard in February, Future was touting pre-production version of FF91 ahead of the launch to the summer in the drove. Today, we learned that FF has punted the EV launch yet again because it doesn't have the money yet again. So that kind of sucks right there for that. What else do you got on the twits there, Kage, for sentiment of this? Because that's why we go to this. Some people say, well, why do you go to the twits? Because we want to see what the real traders are saying. Some of you don't think they're the real traders. Some, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're bots. But we just say it because that's where the real traders hang out, and we like stock twits. So what else do you got?
Here's a comment from Female Huxley that I think is interesting. He says, FFIE. They don't want this below $2.50, but if they see stop losses under $2.40, they're obligated to pick up those stops that require them to drop the price. If so, you're cool with being over $2.50. Take off stop losses, scalp it, and sell it by all means. Always take profits, but just use a market sell when you are ready to exit. The SL will kill this.
That's a good lesson right there. That's a really good take. Faraday Future is looking to raise at least $325 million. Faraday Future is delaying the launch of the first EV to the third or fourth quarter in 2022, citing the need for additional capital to successfully do so. Despite the 2021 SPAC merger with a blank company, Property Solutions Acquisition Corp has publicly stated that it did not need any additional funding for the launch of FF91. The startup has shared the following contradiction: that the company needs additional cash to commercially launch FF91 and currently seeking to raise additional capital to fund operations through December 31st, 2022. The report points out the recent slide of the company's investor deck said the startup is seeking $325 million to continue operations. So that'll be the question there. Can they get that funding there? And that if they do get some kind of funding like that, some big dog jumps in, then a lot of people here on this board are going to be happy, wouldn't you say, Kage?
Yeah.
What else do you have on the twits before we close this one out?
Let's see.
Cut.
Billionaire penny stocks.
Like that,
he had a little interesting take, but he didn't necessarily bring his receipts, so
that's fine. You could read it anyway.
Oh, how about this one from Spoiler Alert? Spoiler alert. He says, FFIE company needs urgent cash and they are currently in negotiations with potential investors. Any potential financing news, which could be dropped anytime, will take it to the moon. Stay tuned. Still holding average $2.28. And he says the stock's bullish.
So that's gonna be the key. Did you get it on the cheap? When as far as last week, before this was trending upwards there and it was in the news, or before it hit the news, or did you get in, or are you going to sit this one out until wait to see if they get that funding? So that's the two plays and the two questions that everybody will have to ask over time. But we're pretty much done with this one. Covered the news because pretty much all of it here is parroting everything what happened in the last 2 weeks, and we pretty much covered it in the Electrotech. It was a great article. So kudos to them for writing that one. So we'll see you in 2 at 2. Peace.